Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, NBA on NBC, lead analyst. Okay, let me get a couple of questions out of the way. This came up about winning a championship or being a Hall of Famer. So you're a Hall of Famer, you didn't win a championship. But if I said you could trade places with Rip Hamilton, or you could keep your career. So you win a title, but you're not a Hall of Famer.
I'm keeping my career.
Okay.
I love my career.
Okay. Now, there was another one that somebody brought up. If you could change the outcome, let's see. Was that 19? What was the year, Marvin?
Game 7, 98 conference finals, or Game 4, 2000 finals. Which game would you rather have won?
You can change the outcome of either one. So you go, you don't have to change anything, but you go 2-2 with the Lakers, or you beat Jordan and you go to the NBA Finals.
Wow, both are very intriguing, very difficult questions. Look, winning a Game 7 in Chicago versus, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time, I probably would take that. Again, you and I have had this discussion, Mark Jackson and I, that was our thinking. We wanted to retire Jordan. So I would probably take that one. Winning Game 4 versus Shaq and Kobe to even the series 2-2, that doesn't guarantee that we were going to win that series. All it meant was that the series was 2-2. We thought we had that game when Shaq fouled out because he was just too dominating in that series. So when he fouled out in that game and it went to overtime, we thought we had that until this young kid showed his greatness in Kobe Bryant, and they went up 3-1. We won Game 5, 3-2, and they closed us out in 6. So that wouldn't have guaranteed us winning that series. But to win in Chicago in a Game 7 versus Michael Jordan, that would have been great. But here we are.
And that leads us to tonight's game. And I wondered when we started the show, I said, it feels like there's more pressure on the Knicks than the Spurs. Because the Spurs know we lost those two, and yes, we're probably not winning this series. Our odds are heavily against us. But the Knicks go back home, crazy environment.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to give San Antonio a glimmer of hope. And that's why when I saw San Antonio's only a 2.5-point underdog here, you would think after losing those two, maybe being down in the dumps, now you're going into the Garden. They can't wait to crown the Knicks as a champion here. Who has more pressure?
I said this on one of our telecasts about the Knicks. I always feared the Knicks most when they were on the road, and they kind of showed that in the first two games. Their fan base travels well, but for whatever reason, as a team, when we were going against Patrick and John and Oak and all those Knicks teams on the road, they played totally different when they were away from the Garden. I don't know what it was, but they were so locked in and great, and we saw that in games 1 and 2 in San Antonio. I think when they go home, you get a chance, all the things you just highlighted, you relax a little bit, your family's there, the crowd's going to be pumping, you've won the first two, you almost kind of exhale, which you hope that's not the case. You're in the finals now, and you're 2 wins away from a championship. This is the time to put your foot on the gas even more. But for whatever reason, the Knicks at times seem to settle and let teams hang around. Right now, if you're the Spurs, you have absolutely nothing to lose. You are playing with house money. Obviously, no team has ever come back losing their first 2 games at home and winning a championship. So history's not on your side. So you might as well just go out and play. I've been a little surprised in this series because the same team that we covered in the Western Conference, that is not the same Spurs team that I'm seeing in the finals. It was almost like their main mission was just to beat the Thunder, and they forgot there was one more series left. They're not playing the same way, and it's, if you're a Spurs fan, it's been a little bit of head scratching watching these first 2 games.
Were you okay with that final shot by Wemby?
Yeah, I mean, your best player takes that shot. I mean, it was a clean look. Personally, I probably would have loved to see De'Aaron Fox be a little bit more aggressive in that. Remember, he was a former clutch player of the year, something we've seen Jalen Brunson be in these first two games. Think about this. Jalen Brunson has not played great at all in this series. I think he's like 17 for 56. He's like 4 for 20 from three. And yet the Knicks are up 2-0. He's been great in the clutch, especially in game one. But overall, he has not had the type of shooting game that he's capable of. And the Knicks are still up 2-0. That's why it's a little scary, because you know those shots are going to fall when he's back home. And the way that Mikal Bridges, the way that Landry Shamet, OG, the way they are shooting the basketball, Deuce McBride off the bench, this is a full complement of Knicks teams. This is the best I think I've ever seen them play.
I want to look at the bigger picture here, because this shouldn't be viewed as a one-off with the Knicks. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They probably should have made it to the finals last year. But if they sweep San Antonio and you end up winning 15 consecutive playoff games, you would match Golden State Warriors. Now, all of a sudden, at least for 1 year, I know it wasn't a dominating regular season, but postseason,
yeah,
like they're going to be in the conversation of one of the greatest, and the point differential too, Reggie, throughout the postseason. I don't know if we look at the Knicks that way, but I think we should, at least statistically, historically.
You've got to put them in that conversation, and you've got to have these hard conversations. And I know people will not, they'll say, well, who did they play? They played Atlanta, no experience. They were down 2-1 in that series.
Yeah.
And after that game 3, they've run off 13 straight. They're going to say, well, they played Philadelphia in the second round, and Joel Embiid was. You play who's in front of you. That's the same Philadelphia team that won a game 7 in Boston. They played the Cavs in the conference finals. That's the same Cavs that won by 30 in Detroit in a game 7. I don't want to hear it, people. You've got to have these hard conversations about the Knicks. If they find a way to win 2 more games in a row and win 15 in a row on their way to an NBA championship, you and I, we're not up here saying they're the greatest.
No.
Okay, no, we're not saying that. But you've got to have a hard conversation on how this run, starting with game 4 in Atlanta all the way until now, it's impressive what the Knicks have done.
Nobody brings up the Lakers and Magic were banged up when Michael Jordan won his first NBA title.
A
Right?
championship is you play who's in front of you. Everyone's banged up at this point in time, right? I don't want to hear it, people. I mean, Boston could have had something to say about this. They lost that game 7 at home. Detroit could have had something to say about this. You lost by 30-plus, game 7 at home, all right? You play who's in front of you. That's all the Knicks are doing right now.
Talking to Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, NBA on NBC, lead analyst. I think Karl Anthony Towns would be my MVP right now, because he seems to be doing it at both ends. And I wondered this in the first hour, Reg, that Mike Brown was on Golden State's coaching staff. And I wonder if he saw how Steve Kerr used Draymond Green, and if he's using Karl Anthony Towns now as sort of a larger, better shooting than Draymond Green, where the offense is going through him probably more than it ever has.
100%. And I think Cat has embraced that role. That's a great comparison, though Cat's not the defender that Draymond is, but Draymond's not the shooter and scorer that Cat is. I think in terms of passing, very similar. And though the Knicks don't have that one weapon like Golden State, obviously in Stephen Curry and or Klay Thompson during those championship runs, again, the way that Mikal Bridges, think about this. People were talking about benching him in that Atlanta series after the first 2 or 3 games. Like, what was wrong with Mikal Bridges? And now he's having a historical run here over the last 2 rounds, the conference finals and now. And Karl Anthony Towns, the way they've put the ball in his hands, and he has been able to facilitate. And to your point, at the other end, defensively, again, we thought that Wemby was going to be able to walk on water after what he did in that conference finals. He looks shell-shocked a little bit, and it's because of the physicality of the game being brought to him by Cat. So right now he probably is maybe the odds-on favorite to win that finals MVP. But I will say this. They don't win game one without the brilliance of Jalen Brunson. And again, in game two, that big shot again came from Jalen Brunson. He is the one player he's the ultimate closer. Anytime the game is close, I don't care who you're playing, I will always trust in Brunson. Too good of footwork. His mechanics are great. His foundation is fantastic. That dude just scares me if a game is close and the ball is in his hands.
Does he remind you of anybody you played against?
I'm not comparing them. I'm not saying they're the same. So people, please don't come at me. But when MJ and when Kobe, when both of those guys had the ball in the closing moments, you just knew something special was going to happen. You knew they were going to get a clean look. Now, whether they made it or missed it, that was on them. I look at Brunson that same way. He can get any shot he wants in the closing moment. Now, if he makes it or misses, that's on him. But there's not a lot of defense you're going to be able to do one-on-one to stop that. All three of those guys have something very similar. Their footwork is impeccable. They play off of 2 feet every single time. Now, Kobe and Mike, they played in the air a lot. Whereas Brunson, being a smaller guard, his footwork has to be, and his timing has to be on point. So, again, I'm not putting him in that category. Don't come after me. But in terms of making big shots, I put him up there with Kobe and MJ.
Explain this to the audience. I tried to, but even when you're supposed to take shots, even if you're not making shots, like Iverson had to keep shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that to the audience of even when you're missing, it's important to the offense, to your teammates, to keep shooting if you're that main guy.
It's the evolution of life. You've got to keep things moving. Even though you're having an off night offensively, the rest of those four guys, they look to you for guidance and strength. So when your best player becomes timid or shy or turns down shots, the other four guys and the rest of the team, they bow their heads because their best player is not aggressive. I don't care if I was 3 for 15, 16. I had to continue to shoot the basketball to give them strength because law of averages, your best player is going to find a way in the closing moments, like Brunson in game one. He was shooting terrible, but all it takes is a free throw, an and one, a layup to get you going. And then it seems like that rim is like the ocean. So you've got to continue to be great. They trust Brunson so much. That's why I think he's always aggressive, even when he's having an off night.
Give me your all 6'2" and under team.
I would go with Isaiah. I would go with AI. I would go with Stockton because, look, he has the all-time assist. You're going to start thinking about Brunson in this case now, people, especially if he wins the championship. But there's others like Nate Tiny Archibald.
Chris Paul?
Chris Paul, yes, definitely Chris Paul. Yes.
Steve Nash.
Look, here's another name that people don't associate with smaller guards. Would Tony Parker be in this conversation as a 6'1" and under? Right? He was 6'1", I believe.
Yeah.
Tony Parker should be in that category.
All right.
I don't think he was 6'3" or 6'4", Tony Parker.
No.
He was 6'1".
But Steph is 6'3".
Right. Steph is 6'3". So you said 6'1", right?
6'2".
Well, he's 6'3", so he's
So
out of this.
The best 6'2" and under player of all time is
Isaiah. I'll go with Isaiah.
What's Kyrie?
He's 6'3", 6'4", right?
Is he?
He's 6'3". He's not 6'2".
Okay.
But man, he's in. So him and Steph. Now that's it. 6'3" to 6'5". That's a conversation right there. Because now you're talking Steph, Kyrie, Dwayne Wade. Like, this is a very difficult conversation. James Harden.
Russell.
I don't know if I would put James Harden in that conversation with those other three guys, but he has the points.
So tougher to give me a best player under 6'2". How about the best player under 6'5"? Would you take Dwayne Wade over Steph Curry?
Ooh, no. I'm going with Curry.
Okay. Is there anybody you would take over Steph Curry under 6'5"? 6'5" and under.
I mean, I love Isaiah.
If I say we have a draft, you have first pick.
What's the rest of my team look like?
No. You're starting your team with your point guard. So you can have anybody under 6'5".
Wow. I'm probably starting with Wardell. Zeke, I love you. Oh, I love you, Zeke. So then, am I on this team?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I'll start with Wardell. If I was on this team, I would start with Zeke. If I was the shooting guard.
Yeah,
Steph and I couldn't be on the same team together. We basically did the same thing. Well, he was much better than I was, but we would complement one another.
Well, you beat Klay Thompson.
You know what? You're right. I'm still going with Wardell.
I'm going to take Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm going with Steph.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the game.
I appreciate it. Game 3.
Yep.
Woo.
We'll talk to you next week.
Yes. Well, now will it be over by then? Do you think it'll be over by then? Monday, Wednesday. Today, Wednesday.
I'm going to say no.
Which game does San Antonio win? Tonight or Wednesday?
Tonight.
Wow. That place is going to be buzzing. You got the president. It's going to be a zoo in there.
Oh, I know.
They lose that. Lose that game.
I know.
With all that hype.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I can see them maybe losing game 4, but tonight.
No. If they win tonight and you have a chance to win the title, it'll be crazier in game 4.
All right. A lot has to happen. Too many youth mistakes. Spurs. Call a time. First of all, call a timeout. Coach Johnson, I love you. Call a timeout. Call a timeout.
Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, NBA on NBC, lead analyst. Thank you, Reg.